frames, which won't be too bad, because he's underachieved this session, there's no doubt about that. Or it could be 4 frames, the difference. So a big frame. I know it's only the first session of 3, but this is a big frame.
This session. Mark Selby to break.
You can see a camera view from the other side of the Crucible Theatre. The screen is up. Played a tournament this season, John, in Berlin, where all the screens were down, all 5 tables open plan, which is quite interesting. The spectators enjoyed it, and the players were not distracted. Don't know if it's big enough here for that to ever happen.
Well, I wouldn't like that.
It's our tradition, isn't it? Keeping everything as it is at the Crucible. It's how it should be, isn't it?
Yeah, I saw a bit of that German thing, and it just looked, well, it reminded me of being in a snooker club. So in all honesty,
I think it was quite funny, one or two of the quotes I saw from one journalist. He said, how ironic, of all the places for the wall to be knocked down, Berlin.
Berlin.
It's only a game of snooker, it's not quite the same, is it?
No, well, you get Pink Floyd to write a song about it.
And that was a tournament that Mark Selby got to the final of, and amazingly, he's only ever won 1 ranking tournament in his career. You wouldn't think that, because he's always up there in the betting and up there as a really fancied player. Don't forget he's won the Masters a couple of times, but he's only ever won 1 ranking tournament, the Welsh Open.
Meanwhile, that's a mistake from 딩전휘vs셀비. At this level, you cannot afford to hit those baulk colours full in the face. And you've got to find the gap between, in this case, it would have been green and brown. You've got to get a good length, and he's left Mark Selby with his hand on the table and a straight red, and if he knocks it in, the black is available.
He didn't miss too many of those against Stephen Hendry. That one never threatened the pocket.
Yes, it was just off straight. He was trying to float it in, but on these superfine cloths, you just need to fractionally hit that cue ball off centre, and by the time it's travelled that distance, it's offline. And I think Ding may have a red, a straight red to the far left corner pocket here. He's looking to see how he can play it as a shot for nothing. I think he's had a look that if he stopped the cue ball where the red is, he might be on the pink to the right middle. He doesn't normally turn down the right shot to play, but I think he's playing safe now. He's not going for it. And that was nearly very good. An inch the other side, and had been tight up behind the green. There you go. As I say, just a couple of inches on the other side, and it would have been a snooker, and a telling one.
Played a good shot though. Good weight on it. Ding just having a look at what's available. He's maybe thinking about just rolling a red down into the bottom left and playing on the black, or he's certainly seeing if the red above it will pot, so he is looking at something positive.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be a problem. Just looking down the line, and he's got to be very careful if he's trying to get back to the balk end here. Doesn't want to catch this red too thick. Good shot. Played it well. Played it perfectly.
Yeah, this was even better than the Selby safety shot. Cue ball right in line with the brown, which means it's always hard to catch a red thin when you're from that angle on either side of the table. He's going to try, I think, and play the bottom red thin. It's always a worry, that shot. Got to avoid those reds on the way back up. It was a very thin shot. He caught it, almost caught a ball.
One.
Can he find the gap? Can it run? He'll be disappointed if he's not on the black, and I don't think he is. Well, just quarter of an inch, and he'd have been on it. Is he going to try and swerve around the red? It's risky. If he was in practice now, he'd try to flick a bit aside on this cue ball and swerve it round the red to pot the black. But on these cloths, and it's risky to, you don't know how much you're going to get on it.
Green.
And he's having to bite the bullet. And it takes a lot to do that, because when he was left the red, he would have thought, this is what a chance this is to win the frame.
딩전휘 1.
So, missed opportunity that was.
Foul. Miss.
Had to be thin, but not that thin.
딩전휘 4.
It's difficult to know whether to...
From here. From here, Mark, please.
Well, 딩전휘 has decided, I said to the referee, I'd like to play it again, but from where it is now. So Ding obviously thinks this is slightly more difficult to get safe.
Well, I think it's because he can't get to that edge this time. I know he missed it last time, but he can't even get to it. Probably the right choice, I'd say. This has really made Mark have a think.
Well, I'm convinced, the time he's thinking about it. He didn't think this long when he was in the last situation. That's what's available on the right hand side. Potable red, but very risky and not certain to get the reward of a colour. But sometimes, as we saw in the last frame, if you can't play a safety, you're forced into playing the pot. Well, he's certainly giving this plenty of thought. Well, is he going to play the pot? I think he is. He's trying to pot his way out of trouble. Well, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. He didn't play the pot. He was more concerned trying to get that cue ball back to the balk end, and he's made a pretty good fist of it, has to be said. Another lovely weighted safety shot. Played this nicely, and missing the brown as he did. He's covered the left-hand side of the table. Always thought in this match that 딩전휘, if he had a weakness against Mark Selby, could he compete in the tactical side of it? And he's done very well. He's done very well in the safety exchanges. And there you go. Mark Selby 62%, 딩전휘 83%. Didn't expect it to be that way round, Neil.
No, definitely not. That's not something you would believe that Ding could outthink Mark Selby and outplay him in the safety, maybe in the scoring, although we'd seen how well Selby had been playing. He hasn't played very well today, and we talk about important frames, and they all are, but 6-2 down, that's a pretty heavy beating if he doesn't win this frame. And again, he's looking at this shot for what seems an age. A minute and a half again.
Yeah, and I think, in all honesty, we talk about are they going to put shot clocks on and this, that and the other. Maybe the referee should just have a word and say, you know, maybe he should speed this up a bit. He's in control of this situation.